We want the Bitcoin fakes to be in the downwards direction, like it fakes down, shakes everyone out, and then runs it up again. We don't want to see head fakes on the upside. The best executed head fake on the upside in Bitcoin was in 2021, and they did it twice. First time, solid candle close in price discovery, not just a wick, and then boom, down. Second time, again, solid candle close in price discovery, and then boom, down, which marked the beginning of that bear market. I still remember when the candles here happened. Like, what? There's real weakness here. I did not expect it. I was so surprised, but it was undeniable. Then Larsson line flipped blue here at 49,000. Bitcoin ended up dropping almost 80% from the peak. Solana dropped 97%. That 2022 bear market became an eye-opener for many new viewers here on this channel, who were not around for the previous time when this played out in 2018, where Bitcoin dropped 85% and where the most solid altcoins at that time dropped 99% or even more. But Larsson, this time it's institutions. Bitcoin cannot go down this time. Well, last time it was freaking Elon Musk, guys. Markets can and will go both up and down. And highly speculative, high volatility assets like Bitcoin, like altcoins, like tech stocks tend to have wild swings. If Bitcoin starts really dumping, those institutions will panic too. There's still people behind. They're like everyone else, guys. We see it in the ETF outflows. When prices dumping, people start selling. So this is a bit scary, guys. 2021, fake above previous all-time highs and then immediately dump. 2025, fake above previous all-time high and then immediately dump. One difference is that these are much closer together in time, so they are more part of the same move. If we compare with 2021, you can see that price went into a real downtrend in between. Here it didn't. Still part of the same uptrend. That is an important difference that I realize only now when recording this video. That's why it's so good to teach. You will only truly understand something when you have to explain it to someone else. Let's make a scoreboard, guys. Recent pattern. Head fake above all-time high, ugly. Then we have the next one, I'll call it duration. As you probably recall, because I mentioned it several times, in all the previous cycles, the duration from the bottom to the halving was almost exactly the same as the duration from the halving to the top. First time, second time, third time, last cycle. And now this cycle, if we look at the time from the bottom to the halving and then the same duration from then, well, that has already passed actually. Of course, patterns don't always repeat. Still, this pattern duration has already passed. So now it actually has to be different this time. The next thing I don't like, that is that Bitcoin is really lagging gold here. Bitcoin price divided by gold price is trending down. Bitcoin gold downtrend. And Bitcoin to stocks has actually broken this beautiful parabola. Bitcoin stocks broke parabola. Not great. The positives, Larsson line gold, we like that. And in this picture I also showed you this parabola, which is probably still intact, at least the way that I've drawn it here. Probably intact. Also good. Also, undisputably great news, this 117k breakout is holding. And we have volume support below. 117k breakout holds, obviously 112k support holds, and obviously the other key levels too, including the 100k magic level. Even though this is obvious, is in preparation for a future where this starts changing. Then I'll come back to this slide. The final point I plan to put here is that the usually correlated markets, like gold, like stocks, are pointing up like there is no tomorrow. Correlated markets up. also positive sign. We're gonna come back to this scoreboard, guys. In summary, there were people selling Bitcoin here as it reached new all-time highs. Why and who, we don't know exactly. Whales who have started offloading, perhaps expecting the 4-year cycle to continue, despite there being all these good arguments against. Personally, I'm not trying to sell the top and buy the bottom. When you figure out how to do that consistently with either a time machine or a fortune teller, please let me know and I'll pay you 99% of all my money for it. Solana is also looking bloody shaky, guys. What is going on? This is a head and shoulders pattern in the SOL to BTC chart, which confirms if price breaks below about 180k sats, which is very close from here. And that could happen because Bitcoin dominance doesn't look too great either if you're into altcoins. This is sloping a bit, but reminiscent of an inverse head and shoulders, with the head wicking down to exactly this key support that we've talked about, going back many years. So what we're seeing here are people running from alts to Bitcoin, signaling less risk appetite in the market. Probably seeing this and feeling a tad worried. SOL versus BNB market cap is now at the bottom line. This has never been lower than this since 2023, and it has never gone lower in a downtrend since 2021. So if the SOL team gives up here and lets this one go like this, man, then that's not great if you're a SOL fan. Larsson, where's the all-time high celebration whistle? It's back in the cabinet. Time to sober up. I haven't sold anything this week, but my finger is closer to the sell button than it was before we got this ugly head fake just above previous all-time high. Don't fall for impersonators, guys. Just because someone has taken my profile picture and written my display name doesn't mean that it's me. Some letter will be different in the username, but sometimes that's easy to overlook. The real protection is knowing that if someone DMs you with some exciting secret investment platform, that's not me, guys. They will try on Facebook, Instagram, X, Discord, TikTok and every other platform imaginable. You got to learn that impersonation exists on the internet, guys. That's the only real defense. This is Vladimir Putin, president of Russia. Some people kidnapped me and put my duplicate in Russia. I didn't start the war, he did. I escaped and now hiding in your country. Can you send me 3,000 rupees so I can go back to Russia and stop this war? And here it comes. This is real me. I can send selfie. Then it must be the real him, right? Come on, guys. It's 2025. Wake up. Don't fall for these kind of scams. Even if it's my beautiful picture instead of his. Thank you, Tack.